All right, everyone, GPT 5.2 is now released, and you've probably already been seeing a lot of posts about this. So here are the evals, and you can see how it compares against Opus 4.5 as well as Gemini 3 Pro. But if you're familiar with this channel, you know that while these benchmarks are helpful, they don't always paint a clear picture. So what I'm going to do is skip through all of these news updates and instead put it through the test and use it in both Cursor as well as Codex CLI. In my previous video, this was built in one shot using a single prompt using Opus 4.5, and today I will be showing you this version that was built by GPT 5.2. It has a whole bunch of different games, it has sound effects, it has games with physics involved as well, it has AI shooters, and it even has a full-blown Tetris clone built within as well. And this is another version of the game using the same prompt but using Codex CLI. And you will see that there are different styles even though they were given the same prompt and are using the same model. The interesting thing here was that it was able to create its own original game, as you see over here, which is not Space Invaders, but a different kind of Star Blaster game. So I'm really excited to share with you the prompts that I use, as well as the process and the results. If you want the exact prompts that I'm using today, I've made them completely free inside my Insiders Club. You also get a weekly newsletter and a Notion page that contains a lot of material related to all my videos. So without further ado, let's get started with today's video. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I've just created this new repository, and you will see down here, you should be able to find the GPT 5.2 high fast and GPT 5.2 models. You should be able to also, if you wanted to, you can go to Cursor settings, go to models and type GPT 5.2, and you can see there are a lot of these other variants of GPT 5.2. But for the purpose of this, let's just use what the default is over here. Okay, so you can see here, this one is good for planning, debugging, coding, and more. And this one is good. All right, so the main thing about this one compared to this is that this will have the priority service, so it's going to cost 2x the price. You can have an extra high reasoning effort over here, and then you can have this extra high reasoning effort, which we're just going to turn on just for fun now, and we're also going to turn on high. So let's just give this a shot right now. All right, so in my last video, I actually built an arcade simulator and tried to one-shot it with Opus 4.5. So I'm going to use the same prompt that I did the last time. Build me an arcade game machine simulator that will run on a web page. Ensure that it looks aesthetically in theme and pleasing and has several different mini games. Make sure that the overall page looks visually appealing and that all the games can be played using the keyboard. Okay, and we're going to go into plan mode, as we should always do. And we're going to kick this off and see what this comes up with. And the last time when I did this, I actually just used Opus 4.5 because it was the same price as Sonnet 4.5. But in this case, I'm actually using a slightly more expensive model. So it's going to ask me for a couple of questions over here. Yeah, let's just do a vanilla one. What mini games do you want? Let's just do pick 3 to 5. Let's do Snake. Let's definitely do Pong, Breakout, Space Invaders, Top-Down, Lane Dodger. Yeah, why not? And let's continue that. And let's just pick all of them, because why not? Okay, so it's got the input from me. And okay, so 6 games. The only one that meaningfully envisages is the Tetris. What should I do? We must have Tetris, right? Include all 6. Go big or go home. All right, so you can see off it goes. And this will go on and reasoning for a while. So the feedback that I've seen so far, because some people actually found a way to get hold of this model within Cursor a lot earlier, but the Cursor team were really quick to patch it. But the main thing that people have said is that it's extremely fast. Here we go. Let's take a look at the plan. All right, so there's not too much that we have to care about right now. We just go ahead and build it. And making sure, oh, sorry, 1 second. We need to make sure that we use the correct model to build it. So it's going to use the GPT 5.2 high fast. Even though in this case, you probably don't need a high reasoning effort, but why not? Let's just go ahead and do it. Because most of the time, you will want to be using a high reasoning model for planning and then a much cheaper or smaller, faster model like Composer 1 or Haiku. But in this case, we're trying to test what 5.2 can do. And the last time I did it, I used Opus 4.5 for both the planning as well as the implementation. So I'm trying to do something like for like here. So we've already kicked this off. Let's see how things go. So I thought we'll just go through this. You can see, oh, it's got some really nice diagrams over here, in considering how the app start goes to the menu, playing, and the pause state, which is really nice. And those of you who have actually seen some of my really old videos from almost a year ago back now, like in the past, for you to build a game one shot, even with a fairly detailed spec, resulted in something which you had to tweak quite a lot more. It just shows you how far along we've come with these models, where you can really one-shot an entire application or entire game. In this case, multiple different games with effectively one prompt. This is something that you should definitely pay attention to, and we'll definitely see how this turns out. All right, so we're just going to leave this and then we'll draw back once this is completed. All right, and this is the end result that it has come up with within Cursor. But one very quick thing I wanted to mention, I actually made a mistake when I tried to build the plan earlier. So you saw me switch with this GPT 5.2 high fast. This is actually a wrong one. This was me trying to get access to an early version of this before Cursor officially supported it. So what I needed to do was to switch to this GPT 5.2 high fast one over here that you can see is showing up correctly. So anyway, the only difference here was that it asked me a bunch of different questions, but overall it was pretty much the same. As you can see, the plan here. And the thing that made me realize that I was using the wrong model was the end result wasn't that good actually. So it was probably using a different model. I actually went through my Cursor history and looked through it, and I noticed that it was using a different model than GPT 5.2 high fast. So that was probably the reason why the end result wasn't as good. So anyway, this is the simulated arcade box that's running. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, and all are working pretty well. So if you check this out, Stick is running, and there's sound as well. And it also is able to keep track of high scores, which is a nice touch because it's not something that I explicitly asked for. So you can see I've got 9 now, and let's just crash into the wall so you can see the high score updated over here. I can play the Breakout game. Here we go. Yep, so this is working. The physics is also working correctly. The lives and the scores are working correctly. So this is really working very well. Let's try Space Shooter. So this is a Space Invaders clone. And you can see here, the scoring is working correctly as well. The AI from the aliens is working. And let's just get hit. Let's actually try to see if we can clear this. And yep, all right, I won. Cool. And falling blocks, so this is Tetris. So this one is working much better. This was actually one of the clearest indicators that my previous run wasn't correct, because it didn't have this thing that you see here where there's the ghosting that shows you a preview of where it's going to land. And there was just several other things, but you can see in this case it's working correctly. So let's try to get a nice score over here. Nope, oh no. All right, so the clearing is working as well, but my skills are definitely not as good as they should be. All right, and the last one is Pong. So this one is also working correctly, and it's great. The AI is working, and let's see if we can actually get past the AI over here. And nope. All right, so I'm worse than the AI. Cool. So overall, this is looking really good. I really like this color shade that is used, and it's definitely got a different style compared to what we got with Opus in the past. So if you want to check it out, you should definitely see the other video, but this is looking really good. And this was all done in one shot within Cursor. So within the Codex CLI, if you want to access GPT 5.2, you will need to update to the latest version, which is 0.71.0. Okay, and the way you can do it is to run this npm command that you see over here. Or if you have gotten hold of this tool that I've built called the Codex Extensions, which is a wrapper around your Codex CLI that gives you a bunch of utility methods, plugins, and additional functionality on top of your regular Codex. It is fully open source, which you can get hold over here, or if you want to, you can also get it in my Codex Builder Pack. It also contains several other things, such as the source code, the prompts, and everything from all my other videos on the Codex CLI. Once you have this installed, you just type Codex update, and it will actually prompt you whether you want to update it to the latest version, and then you can go ahead and do that. I believe this is something that OpenAI have put into Codex CLI going forward as very recently, where they do prompt you to update it as well. So you can also use that mechanism to do so if you like. All right, so once we are in, you want to select 5.2, and then you can go high. We will then use this exact same prompt that we put into Cursor and throw it in here, and we'll let it roll, and we'll see how it turns out. And so this is the end result of the game. So using the same prompt, but using GPT 5.2 within Codex CLI. So let me just show you it here so you can see it managed to finish it up over here. All we needed to do was to run a Python server so that we could serve the index.html. And oh, the announcement is coming up in Cursor right now. So as you can see, I'm trying to get this out as soon as possible. Switching back, you can see this is the GPT 5.2 arcade. All right, and it has 4 games this time, so not 5. Let's check this out. All right. So I like this version of the Snake game because I think it visually has a much nicer style compared to the previous one where the game looked like it didn't have a glow. This one has like a nice glow to it, so a nice neon lighting. All right, but overall that's fine. So this is Pong Duel. So this is very similar to the other Pong game that we had. All right, cool. And this game is a lot harder than it looks for sure. All right, so let's see if we get it past. Yes, I got it. So this time I should win. Star Blaster. And this is really interesting because as you can see, this is a creative interpretation of Space Invaders, or rather a different game than Space Invaders. So I lost just now because one of the aliens managed to get to the bottom of the screen. So I have to be a lot quicker this time. And oh, this game is not easy. All right, so one thing you also notice is that this one doesn't have sound. Quite an interesting result. I wonder whether it's just my sound's not loud enough. Yeah, this one doesn't have sound. And this one is Breakout, okay? And it's working correctly. And you can see the other difference here is that this one doesn't have a high score system. So the previous one that we did with Cursor had a high score system. This one doesn't. But overall, this is really impressive, right? Like I mentioned in just a bit earlier before, being able to one-shot one game in the past, like a year ago, was not that easy. But now you can pretty much one-shot an entire cabinet of games, which is really impressive. So this brings us to the end of today's video. I just wanted to give a GPT 5.2 a run as quick as possible. I just wanted to give GPT 5.2 a run as quick as possible. I'm definitely going to be playing around a lot more with it and seeing how it fares against other things like Gemini 3 Pro, as well as Claude Opus 4.5. But overall, looking very promising so far. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notification bells so you'll always be the first to know when new content like this drops. And if you haven't seen my latest video, where I just run through a bunch of really simple but powerful Claude Code skills that supercharge how your app looks and gets it ready for production, you want to check it out over here. All right, so till next time, I'll see you.